This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFull TV in association with MTK Global. It is 10 past 10 p.m.
Unbelievable.
You explain the day. Why is it taking this long?
Left at, 8? Well, we're supposed to leave at 8, but Darren had to pick up Ohara from Hackney. And he didn't get to us till 9:15, something like that. Went up to Liverpool. Left at 3:30 to get back for a meeting here at 7. Got back at 8:30. Just finished a meeting with England Boxing. It's 10 past 10. We haven't had to sit down for a long time. How long's it been?
3 weeks.
More, surely.
Well, it was around the July 1st show.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting grilled by you for the next, hopefully not an hour, but I'm certainly game for half an hour.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
They call me good for half an hour, Hearn. So
what, in boxing?
Just in life.
In life. Right.
How you been, old boy?
I'm alright. All good. Waiting for the new season.
Yes.
Kind of is the new season now, though, isn't it? Stuff going on.
There isn't really a season anymore.
No.
But it's the only time you can really get any time off. But during this part of the off season, all you're doing is gearing up for the shows, scheduling shows for the new season and trying to sell them. So you're not really off anyway. No?
It's true.
I mean, it's one of those sick sports where even when you're off, all you want to do is be on.
Get bored, didn't you?
It's addictive. It's very addictive.
Let's start with Ohara Davies.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not too long from his defeat to Josh Taylor. He's had an eventful couple of weeks, I think, as well.
Yeah, tough few weeks for him, really. I mean, I don't think people probably watching this are going to think it's been a tough few weeks for him. I do worry a little bit about Ohara. You know, and we had, you were party to a couple of conversations in the car today, and he was sort of asking us what we thought about him, you know?
Whether we thought he was weird.
Yeah, and I said to him that the best thing in life is being comfortable within yourself. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you're not.
I'm listening.
Yeah, but so to be able to, to have a happy life, to be happy indoors, to be happy at work, to have no chemical imbalance in the mind. So to know where you are at all times. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a really special place to be, and that takes time. Like when you're younger, you might want to be something that you're not. You might be a little bit insecure. But as you get older, you give less of a fuck about things, don't you? And you just become more comfortable. You settle down in a relationship, you might fall in love, you're comfortable with your partner, you're not going out all the time trying to pull birds, you're worried about how you're looking, you're in the gym, I'm obsessive, I'm taking a picture here, I'm posting it on Instagram. You're comfortable in life. And you've got to be comfortable with the role that you play. And I said to Ohara today, it's all very well playing this character and this role that you're playing, but you do understand that is a character and a role. And you've got to differentiate between that and you. Because you are a nice geezer, Like, Ohara Davies, he is a good person to be around. He has a good soul and a good heart, I think. I've known him a while. But I think he's become embroiled. I mean, he said today, I don't know why these guys started shouting to me. I mean, I didn't say anything bad today. I just played it cool and was quite respectful. Then someone played a clip in the car of him walking past everyone saying you're bums and you're bald and you need to get a personal trainer. So I don't know, and I think it's all become quite a lot for him. And I said to him, I don't know if you heard me say, he wasn't necessarily built for this life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when he was growing up, when he was doing what he was doing, I doubt he expected this to happen to him to be in the limelight, for people to be tweeting him a million times a day. He's causing it. because he's the one who's created this attention. But the Josh Taylor defeat was a kick in the nuts. I mean, you know, especially going up there and, you know, I had Barry McGregor over the apron going, "You fucking yeah," like to me, right in my face. And you never like to lose to the McGuigans, but it was a kick in the nuts for everyone. I thought he would win the fight, but he wasn't good enough. You know, he talked today about, I mean, you heard the comment, you know, maybe I did a bit too much strength and conditioning. This, I said, Ohara, you weren't good enough. You know, forget that. Forget that you think you might have overtrained. Or you weren't good enough. You come across a very good fighter in Josh Taylor, who beat you in every department. Take it on the chin, learn and improve. Whether he can learn and improve and get over it, we will see on September the 30th. Because he has a very tough fight against Tom Farrell. He wanted to jump straight back in to try and bounce back to where he was before. And he's again in the Lions' Den, in a rough atmosphere. It'll be a lively atmosphere. And he has to deal with a very determined, motivated, quality young fighter in Tom Farrell. And it may all implode for Ohara Davies. He may not be able to deal with Tom Farrell. He may not be able to deal with the occasion. The last thing that I said to him when he left here was an hour ago. He's going to America tomorrow. Turn your phone off. Delete social media for a week. Clear your head before you camp. Get yourself ready. Sometimes these things can just snowball into craziness. And I feel like that's what's happened to Ohara lately. Just needs to step back, just come off social media and just get focused, enjoy life, realise what's important. And, you know, what he said today, he said, "I'm only really happy when I'm in the gym," didn't he? You know, and I thought, that's good, that's a good thing. But let's get back to boxing rather than creating this image that you've already created that now, so you don't have to, you know, leave that alone. Get comfortable within yourself. Then you'll be very happy. Then you'll be able to achieve because you'll be mentally focused for success rather than thinking about, am I that guy? Am I that? What am I? What am I doing? What am I playing a game, or is this just me? Or at the moment it's all a bit confusing, isn't it? We don't really know what it is. Is it an alter ego? Has he lost his marbles? Is he an arsehole? Who knows? But let's just...
It was a horrendous tweet he sent to Paddy Barnes' wife.
Yeah, I mean, but again, at least he sort of realises, I think enough people told him. But I think, again, that was just evidence of imploding. You know, of just erected. And I think that, like I said to him, Ohara, whether you think that social media comments bother you or not, everyone's got like a barrier that can be overcome. Do you know what I mean? Just like me, I like to think I've got thick skin. At some point, I will read a Twitter message where I've seen that many negative comments that you think, fucking hell. Like, it gets to everybody. Like, I'd love to be able to say, I don't give a shit about social media. Fuck everybody. I don't even take any notice of you. I do. I read it all the time. So after a while, it doesn't matter how thick your skin is, it's going to affect you. And I said this to Ohara. Maybe at first you loved the fact that you were hated. But I don't think anyone loves to be hated. Do they really? I mean, I'd like to be loved. And I think deep down, I think he'd like to be loved. But he's gone so far down this road that it's just all a bit messed up. And he ain't a bad kid. Do you know what I mean? He's a decent kid, but he is coming across at many moments as an arsehole. But forgetting all that, he's in an unbelievable fight on September the 30th with Tom Farrell, who I have to give unbelievable credit for, who has turned around at 13-0 and said, I want these kind of fights. I want to be in big fights, in big arenas, live on Sky. Let's do it. And you're going to see more of this in the new season because fighters, managers, trainers are going to be under more pressure to be in these kind of fights.
Let's just obviously run through some of the other fights on the card. Stalker and Dodd today.
Birkenhead v Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a few words. It looks a bit, I'm not saying out of place, but you've never really seen Tom Stalker
I saw it on the social media. I think it's just, again, a build-up of a year of calling this fight out. Finally gets it. And, Masha never really looked at this fight and thought, that's a step in the right direction. I just offered him the right money and he went, do you know what, give me the fight. Stalker wants it bad. Big chance for Stalker to achieve some major titles, which he probably thought he would do when he turned pro. But massive support for Stalker, massive support from Birkenhead for Masha. It's going to be a good atmosphere, plenty of spite.
You announced the signing of Paul Butler, who rematches Stuart Hall. What's the plan for Paul Butler?
Well, again, he's in a division. Every division at the moment seems to have good potential, obviously world fights, but also domestic fights. So you look at Paul Butler, well, we have 2 world champions at bantamweight, Ryan Burnett and Jamie McDonnell. So there's 2 natural opponents. The winner of Hall against Butler will fight the winner of McDonnell against Solis for the WBA title. So a good opportunity for Paul Butler. Good fighter. Joe Gallagher tells me excellent things about him. Sells a lot of tickets out of Ellesmere Port. Again, another pocket around Liverpool. Exciting to watch. Very pleased to have him on the team. And a good fight in Stuart Hall. They fought for the world title. Very close fight. Split decision win for Butler. Now they get a chance to rematch. And definitely a last chance saloon for Stuart Hall. Butler's obviously got plenty of mileage left on the clock.
A fight we were kind of expecting to see maybe a couple of months ago was between Rocky Fielding and Jamie Cox. Jamie Cox is now in the World Series of Boxing. So, David Brophy, Commonwealth title holder, challenges Rocky
good
Fielding.
fight.
Good fight, yeah.
Both MTK fighters. Matthew Macklin, I spoke to him about it, and he likes Macklin's like he's good to work with because he's like secretly a fan, and obviously he's a bit sick in the head in terms of having a war because he had plenty of them himself. So he likes good fights, and he feels like Brophy against Rocky Fielding is a good fight and a great opportunity for both of them. Stylistically, I think it's a great fight. Brophy's coming off a really big win in Australia, winning the Commonwealth title. Rocky won the British. He's sort of limped through a couple of the last fights. Ryder was a very close fight. Brass was a very close fight. I think he's looking to put in a big performance now and try and move out of domestic level. To be fair to Rocky, all the fights that have been put to him over the years, he's taken with both hands. Callum Smith, Brian Vera, Brass, Ryder, Cox even, and now Brophy. He's up for these fights, and I think he wants to make a statement against Brophy.
Also on the card, you have Anthony Fowler, Natasha Jonas, Scott Fitzgerald, Tom Glover,
Craig Glover,
Tom's brother, Craig Glover. Who else is going to be added to this?
That's pretty much it, really. I mean, you've got 2 Commonwealth gold medalists in Scott Fitzgerald, Anthony Fowler. Fowler's a massive ticket seller in Liverpool, very popular. Natasha Jonas as well, her first fight in Liverpool. Craig Glover as well. Probably add one more Olympian as well to the card. But it's stacked. I mean, we've got right there. There's your transmission from 7 p.m. You've got Stalker against Dodd, Farrell O'Hara Davies, Rocky against Brophy, Butler against Hall. You've got 4 complete 50-50 fights there. Sprinkle it in with a little bit of Anthony Fowler and Natasha Jonas. And that's your night of boxing. Really good, solid night of boxing. And excited. As I said in the press conference today, Liverpool fight fans, they know they're boxing. You put on a good night, they come out. You don't, they don't. It's very simple. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Now, let's try and run through quite a few things. First of all, obviously, this probably ain't the right person to ask, but neither the Salons here, so I'm going to ask you about this World Series of Boxing. What is actually your involvement as in terms of your fighters that are in this tournament? Where do you sit with that?
I sit with our involvement is that we have fighters in the tournament. So when this concept evolved, Callis Howland came to me. I've known about it for a long time. I've liked the concept. It has flaws, as all series tournaments do in boxing. There was a super middleweight tournament of which I spoke to Callum about our super middleweight fighters, put them all forward to go into it. At a time, it was going to be Callum Smith and Anthony Durrell fighting in the tournament together for the WBC title. You know, the mess evolved around there of changed dates and waiting, and then the opportunity came up for Callum to go in the tournament outside of the Durrell fight. The money was good. It's a good opportunity in terms of if he progresses to the final, he's going to fight for a world title anyway. They also selected Jamie Cox, which was an incredible opportunity for Jamie Cox, and now he fights for the WBA world title against Jules Groves. And our other fighter in it is Mike Perez, who again is fighting for the WBC world title in his first fight. So I've seen like different stuff on social media. I always thought that one thing that fans hated was a promoter blocking or using politics to stop fights from happening and stuff like that. So if you look, Sky probably won't broadcast the World Boxing Super Series, but it was a really good opportunity for some of our fighters. So I negotiated the deal with Callum Smith and his lawyer and his manager, Joe Gallagher, to go into the tournament. Same with Jamie Cox, same with Mike Perez. Great opportunity. It's only 8 or 9 months. They come out. If they win, they become pay-per-view fighters and massive stars. So Ohara Davies going up and boxing on a Channel 5 show. You know, I am sort of from the understanding this is good for the sport rather than bad for the sport, rather than you stay on Sky and you box on Sky and we don't let you go anywhere else or fight anyone else on any other show. So I think it's a good thing. You know, they're going to get paid well, hopefully win world titles, come out the other side, and I'm looking forward to seeing him fighting it.
So who advised Callum Smith to give up a straight world title shot to go into a tournament where it's not guaranteed?
That was a decision from Callum Smith, right, and Joe Gallagher.
What was your input in that? Because you must have had some side.
My input was the deal to go in the World Boxing.
But did you think that was a good idea?
I think all things considered, I mean, from a financial point of view, yes. I mean, don't forget, I pushed very hard for James DeGale against Callum Smith. That's the fight that I wanted to make for the IBF world title. Callum turned that down because he wanted to fight for the WBC world title. And that was what we'd set out to do for a long time. We received contracts from the WBC to fight on September the 9th. The 9th in LA. Okay? Callum signed that contract. People booked flights to go out there. Then, only a couple of weeks ago, we received another contract. So actually, there's a date change. It's going to be September the 8th on a Friday night in Flint, Michigan instead. And it's like, hold on. We've signed a contract where we've turned down other opportunities, James DeGale, to fight because we looked at LA, it's on the Santa Cruz Mares card, fine, we're happy with that, we accept. Now all of a sudden we're told that contract, forget you even signed that, that's irrelevant, which I think is wrong, but it's another story. This is where the fight's going to take place now. So there was a lot of messing around and delaying, and in the end, Callum looked at the opportunity and said, do you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to fight for the WBC Diamond title. If I beat Scotland, if I beat my semis, I'm going to fight for the WBA title anyway. So, was it the right decision? I guess time will tell. It was a good opportunity for him. And, you know, it was something that, you know, there was effectively a four-man panel here. It was his lawyer, his manager, Joe Gallagher, Callum and me. And it was a lot of work that went into it. It was a very tough decision for Callum Smith. I was shocked that he turned down the James DeGale fight because I felt like that was the fight and I really wanted to make that fight.
For July 1st?
Yeah, but he had his mind on the WBC, but eventually he got pushed so far that he said, you know what, WBC Diamond, I fight in the tournament, I make my money, I win those fights, and hopefully I get on and get a world title shot.
It's a shame really because he spent such a long time on that
It
WBC
was, yeah,
route.
it was. But enough was enough. And to sign a contract and then be told that that was completely irrelevant is another date instead was disappointing. And again, that was the final straw. Because he wasn't going into the tournament, probably with about 4 days to go before the draft, he weren't in. And then all this unfolded and then it made him make the decision to go in the tournament.
You said that Sky probably won't be showing the World Series of Boxing. Is that means you're potentially still talking to them about that, or?
No, I mean we've been talking to him from the inception of the idea, but the main issue is that you have 7 fight nights per weight class. Okay, so you've got the cruiserweights and the super middleweights now, so that's 14 fight nights over probably an 8-month period. And the way that the package was, to be sold to the broadcaster was you buy the lot.
I'll just pick your fighters.
No, but we want to. If it's a case of picking the fights, I'm up for that.
So there wasn't a thing where you could just have Cox. Perez,
no, you have to buy the whole
Smith,
tournament. That's the original. So if that's the concept, we're out. We can't put 14 fight nights on in 8 months. It's impossible. If it's a case of, like for example, Cox against Groves is, that's got appeal. Callum Smith, that's got appeal. Bramer against Rob Brandt hasn't got any appeal. Eubank against Vildrum, it's got appeal. And then as you move deeper into tournaments, you probably have some pay-per-view fights there as well. Groves against Eubank's a pay-per-view fight. Callum Smith in the final against the Groves Eubank when it could be a pay-per-view fight. So if they end up going down that route, we may be involved. The cruiserweight tournament, which I have to say is really good. Like if you're a hardcore boxing fan, I know all these guys, and there's some great fights. The commercial value on that is zilch in the UK. Doesn't mean it's not any good. There's some great fights, but you can't expect to sell the rights in the UK of Dorticus against Kudryashov for any money because it's not going to rate. No one's going to watch it. So yeah, they've got. You've got our standard Saturday night fight nights, you've got the next gen shows, you've got the pay-per-view shows. Then you've got a couple that pop up every now and again. Mayweather against McGregor, Canelo against Golovkin, the World Boxing Super Series. There's more of an open market. So it's difficult for an existing broadcaster who has an output deal with a promoter to just pick up 14 fight nights. It's a lot easier for a broadcaster that doesn't have a deal with a promoter or a long-term deal like ITV, for example, to come in and say, oh, that suits us. Yeah, we've got some space, but we'll see.
As a hunch, who do you think it will go to then?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, someone like an ITV or a Channel 5 or a new broadcaster that's got the ability to host 14 fight nights in 8 months, I think that's where, like BT, I don't know if they're talking to him. I don't think they can do it with Frank's content as well. Sky certainly can't with ours. But time will tell whether the World Boxing Super Series will be a success. I like the idea of the best fighting the best. I think you're going to always get the best fighting the best in that tournament in the divisions that have smaller commercial value. That makes sense? Like cruiserweights is a great example, or bantamweights or something like that. You just get the best 8 in the world. When you move into the welters and the super middles, and it's harder to get the guys that are willing to commit because some might have existing broadcast deals, promotional deals. Promoters might not let them go in the tournament. But anything that's bringing money into the game, anything that's bringing something different, a little bit of excitement, I'm all up for. So I wish the World Boxing Super Series all the best. And obviously we've got a close relationship with Sowlands and also Camosa as well in the tournament. So, and we have 3 fighters in it, and hopefully as it progresses we'll have more and more fighters in it, and hopefully they come out the other side as world champions, as stars, and we can make them a load more money.
The first one, September 16th.
9th, I think.
9th. All right. The one, so I'm talking about the one in the UK.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, between Callum Smith and Scotland. So, how does that actually work then? Obviously, that's 2 weeks before you're putting on a show in Liverpool. As in regards to like an undercard for that.
It's not our show, so
will it be Salmon fighters as much as you know?
I don't know. I don't know whether Southland are more on the consultancy side rather than the promotional side.
But would you put any of your fighters on there?
Yeah, I mean, all our fighters will be on our shows, but if there's a fighter that needs to get out, or again, I'm not, it's not a case of no one goes on those shows. I'm not having it, So if there's a fighter that needs to get out and it makes sense for them, and they ask me, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I don't think they're really looking. I mean, this I think will be good production, obviously big main event fight. Don't think they're looking to sort of put on this stacked night of boxing from 5 p.m. till midnight with a load of championship fights on the undercard. But the toughest thing for them will be logistically. I think they're going Kiev on the 9th, Liverpool on the 16th, somewhere in Eastern Europe for Latvia on the 30th. No, but it's every week. It's going to be a logistical nightmare. But good on them for having a go. Hopefully it works. What worries me more is the injuries, and that's what happened with the Super Six. But again, anything that brings attention, money to the sport, opportunities for the fighters, great.
Okay. Well, I suppose really more questions for the Southlands rather than you, but you're here. Right, updates really. Where are we with Joshua-Klitschko?
So I was in New York last week, Las Vegas, sorry, and applied for my promotional license in Nevada, which felt like a kid again. Had meetings with MGM, went to the T-Mobile. AJ was out there as well, and we're making good progress. I think Klitschko's going to take the fight, and I think the fight will take place in Vegas.
T-Mobile front runner?
Yeah, I think the only runner. Unbelievable stadium. It feels right. When you've been to Vegas, Vegas feels like England to me. I think, and when there's 20,000-30,000 Brits there, it's going to be a mental place to be in November. Still some work to do. I think we're about 2 weeks away from having a definitive answer, but everything seems to be moving in the right direction.
So, is Pulev just sort of hanging about waiting?
Yeah, again, Pulev's with the Southlands. We know exactly what we're doing with those. With them, we've got an agreement with them in place to fight them next. If we don't fight Klitschko, we will fight Pulev instead. No problem with that. But if we fight Klitschko, Pulev will fight later this year. Then we'll fight him in February or March, as long as we're champion and we beat Klitschko again.
Have you ruled out the other venues country-wise?
I think it's between Cardiff and Vegas.
How do they feel about Cardiff?
I think the issue is they've just done Wembley in 90,000. So this is Klitschko, by the way, not AJ. I think everything given, AJ would rather fight in the UK. But Klitschko, this is could be the final fight of his career. So I think he wants that major worldwide event. He's just done 90,000 at Wembley. I don't think 80,000 at Cardiff is as attractive as a big Vegas fight. So Klitschko's been presented with all the numbers, and now it's a case of which one do you want to do? So I think we'll get the answer shortly, and I think his answer will be Vegas.
Did you stick my name in the terms?
Well, I told you, with your was it Thomas Torsten? Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose we'll have to have an announcement in August.
Yeah, definitely in August. Yeah, I think we're probably 2 weeks away from a deal, and then whether that's announced in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but certainly August.
What's the situation with Sky and McGregor, Mayweather?
It's kind of, what are we now? It's like 4 weeks away on Saturday, isn't it? Or
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all the broadcasters put their bids in. and there's been no decision yet.
Is that all our broadcasters that would show boxing?
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I've had conversations with the rights holders, the IMG, and I would think Sky have bid, BT, BoxNation, ITV. That's probably it. There might be another one, but yeah, again, loads of speculation about the price is going to be £100. Can you imagine if Sky or us did a pay-per-view for $89.99 or something like that?
What do you think it will be?
The price will be within the same realms as always. Again, I don't set the price. My gut feeling, £19.95. If it went to $24.95, which wouldn't be my decision, I can't see it. I think from Mayweather's side, Mayweather wants this pay-per-view in the UK to be £100. And maybe there's a bid from someone else for that kind of retail price. They may have an Ofcom problem with that, I don't know. But Sky's position will not. They won't want to go beyond £19.95 for this fight. That is their price point. So forget about 39, forget about 29.9, 39, 49. It's not happening. That's our bid, and if they want to deliver the biggest pay-per-view numbers in the UK, they know where to go. Listen, Mayweather's just done over 1 million pay-per-view buyers against Pacquiao at 5 in the morning on Sky. He knows where the dough's at. But I think there's probably a few bit of head-butting to try and move certain points and splits and prices, and they must make a decision this week, because otherwise the value diminishes for both sides. If you don't have the build-up time to push the pay-per-view, you're not going to hit the buyers that you hope to hit. So
expect it this week,
I presume so, unless they got other ideas. But you want to get the fight because it's going to do big numbers. But what's the fight going to be like? And although our pay-per-view gets slagged, tell me a bad pay-per-view that we've done in the last. No, cleverly Bellew. But even that was a solid night of boxing. But all right, okay. So say that was the worst, the last bad one we've done.
Yeah.
What was that? November 2014. So 3 years ago, nearly, since we had a stinking pay-per-view. So I try and pride myself, don't laugh, on delivering good pay-per-views. I mean, the last few, Brook Golovkin, Joshua Molina, which had Whyte Chisora on, which was a great night of boxing, Bellew, and Joshua-Klitschko at Wembley. I mean, it's not bad. So I'm hoping that Mayweather-McGregor is actually a decent fight. Is it going to be? I don't think so, but
we'll see.
But I will say, I did watch the press conferences, just going, Jesus, this is nuts.
Oh.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I mean, a little bit cheesy and a little bit staged, but very impressive.
Espinosa got it, didn't he?
Great. I've said to Espinosa, I'm so pleased there's someone else getting booed.
Anthony Crolla.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Burns?
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, the major issue you've got is the weight, because Burns has been up at 10 stone, Crolla's at 9'9" at lightweight, and no reason to move, really. He's comfortable at 9'9", and Burns, can he make 9'9" again? That's the major issue that we've got on that fight. But it makes sense for both fighters. It's a big fight, good money for both fighters, and it's a do or die, isn't it? Sink or swim fight. It's last chance saloon. Loser says cheerio. So a lot of pressure in that fight as well. But I think if they can agree the weight, then I think that's a likely fight for October.
Let's talk about all this together now. Tony Bellew,
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Parker, Dillian Whyte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Hughie Fury as well, because Hughie Fury called you a cockroach the other day.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
I get why as well, because you're meeting Parker's like potential fights.
It's business, mate.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's not my fault if people have got like promoters who don't think ahead or don't strategize. I mean, I think it's quite good that like when you're selling a fight now, one of the things you must do is have a go at me. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're struggling to sell tickets, don't call me names, just let me know. I'll put a tweet out for you or I'll shift some. I mean, they went on sale today. I had a look in the car at their seating plan. They're going to struggle bad on that fight. So I don't know why he wants to call me a cockroach. Josie Parker's team phoned me up and asked for a meeting. I said, yeah, of course. They want to fight Tony Bellew, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua. So we're putting all that in place to happen. If Fury wins, they don't happen. Good luck to you. But that's called business. That's called strategizing. That's called having a brain. That's called working for my fighters effectively. So, Tony Bellew may well fight Joseph Parker next if he beats Fury, right? He may fight Dillian Whyte.
Bellew and Dillian Whyte?
No, Parker.
Oh, Parker.
Yeah. So, but the thing is for Bellew is, do you want to wait till the 23rd to find out? It's a long wait. And is the fight even going to happen? You know, it fell through last time. What's to say it won't fall through again? So for Bellew, it's like you've got the David Haye fight, you've got the Parker fight, and you've got the Andre Ward fight. So I think, well, I know that the fight that makes the most money is the David Haye fight. But he does want to fight for the World Heavyweight title. He arranged to meet Parker. He didn't get called a cockroach, did he? And he wanted to size him up. And he phoned me straight after. He says, I'll knock this geezer out, make the fight.
So, what are you waiting for with Bellew then? Because you're not going to wait till the 23rd to know what.
Well, that's an option, but that's a risk, yeah. You know. I'm not going to go into the Haye negotiations, but Tony has got his position on what he thinks is fair, having won that fight, and he's not prepared to move.
But you're talking to Haye's people.
Yeah, yeah, I reached out to him again today. So, but Tony's in a nice spot, you know. He's just beat David Haye. He's cruiserweight world champion. He's become a massive name in UK boxing and worldwide boxing, and he's got a load of options. So, in fact, what has happened to Tony Bellew is probably, and we've had some great nights and great moments, but probably one of the most pleasing things that has happened to me in boxing is what has happened to Tony Bellew and his life and his career. What are you looking at that for?
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry.
Because, again, and people watching this won't always know the real side of a fighter. You'll struggle to find a more solid geezer or someone, or a nicer bloke, or someone you'd rather be standing side by side with than Tony Bellew. Do you make me right on that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Was he one of your favourites?
One of them. Definitely one of them.
You're in with a Fury mob, don't you? So
One with every mob.
got to be careful what I say to you.
More trustworthy than you realise.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. That's good to know.
All the shit I hear you saying.
I don't even know you're there. I'm like that in the car.
Yeah, there you go.
In terms of fucking
You'll never hear someone go, oh, guess what KUGAN said? Never. Anyway, what Dillian Whyte? Change of opponent?
He fighting Michael Grant on August the 19th. It's an 8-round run out. Then he wants to fight Wilder. He wants to fight
Any more with that, Wilder?
No, not really. I mean, they're talking about him fighting Luis Ortiz. I think it's a load of bollocks, to be honest with you. Why would you fight Luis Ortiz for $1.5, $2 million when you could fight Dillian Whyte for double? So I don't believe that. I think he's going to have to fight. I think he's got a problem because I think Steve Vernon either wants a load of dough to step aside or he's got to fight him. Dillian's also mandatory for the European title. Ajit Kayabal, who's the champion, is a good fight, and he may end up taking that fight in the interim. Yeah, I mean, he's fighting August 19th on the Crawford and Dongo card. Nice spot for him to go and fight on the US card, as it is for Katie Taylor. This weekend, fighting on the Broner Garcia card. Something that we're going to be doing a lot more of, getting our fighters out, getting experience in America.
Obviously, announced the other day that Luke Campbell is mandatory challenger to Jorge Linares, which is massive.
Massive, because it's the WBA World Title, it's the WBC Diamond, and it's the Ring Magazine belt. We'll be taking that fight, and I think you'll get an announcement in the next few days.
Here?
Possibly not. Possibly not.
America?
Quite ironic, actually, because Linares has spent most of his recent years boxing in the UK. He moves to the UK to live, and probably will end up boxing in LA. HBO want him to headline, so it's quite likely that fight could take place in America, but there should be an official announcement in the next 48 hours. Massive opportunity for Luke Campbell. And you know what? I'm going to put it out there. And here's one for all you, like...
Clip cutters.
Yeah, what is it called? Memes, geezers. Put this one up, frame this one, just in case it goes wrong.
Don't do it.
Luke Campbell will knock Jorge Linares out. There you go. You can clip that and you can do what you want to do, but that is my opinion.
Okay.
But then I thought Anthony Crolla was going to beat Jorge Linares. I just believe styles make fights, and I think Campbell is a solid counter puncher who's clever, and I think they're going to clash. They're going to exchange head or body. Luke Campbell's going to win a world title.
I hope so.
But do me a favour, just get behind him, because I put a tweet out saying "and the new," and it's like, you bell end Hearn, he's going to get spanked, and he's at it in. Like, I believe he's going to win. Even if you don't believe he's going to win, just pretend or something to be nice. You know what I mean?
Right, listen, we've got like a little while, not long, like 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
What other news have you got? What haven't we discussed?
Monaco coming up. Looks like McDonald Solis on there. Might do Dillian Whyte on there. Scott Quigg's going to box on there. Another fighter that we might be working with, sign an international name. Big fight coming up for Ryan Burnett. Should be announced next week. We're going to be back in Belfast at the end of October 21st. The light heavyweight scene's becoming quite interesting. So the board ordered...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is...
Frank Buglioni to fight Callum Johnson, which is a great fight.
Yeah.
And Anthony Yardy to fight Jose Burton. Sorry, Anthony. Which is a great fight. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
You expect, again, both those fights to happen?
Well, I hope so.
But you've got to...
Oh, no, Buglioni Johnson. Yeah, no problem. I mean,
when are you targeting that for? Maybe on
October. That'd be October. And then Burton against Yard. Great fight. You know, don't pull out that fight. That's a really good fight. Really good fight.
Do you want to do one of them men things again?
I believe Jose Burton beats Anthony Yard. And I've got to say, I like Anthony Yard. I think he's a very nice guy. I just don't think he has the experience yet in championship fights. And I think Jose Burton beats him. But I've been wrong plenty of times before.
Yeah.
But if you're watching, Anthony, don't pull out of the Jose Burton fight. Don't let people talk you out of the Jose Burton fight. Because Burton is 120% taking that fight.
I know this.
Okay?
I know this. Okay, anything else? Just run through the weights. What's happening in cruiserweights?
Oh, and Anthony, just to let you know, you're going to get paid a load of money for that fight. So do not let them pull you out of that fight. Do not let somebody pull you out of that fight. There's a lot of money in that fight for you, and it's a really good fight. Take that fight. this is on notice. If you pull out of that fight, you have ducked officially Jose Burton. Okay.
How long we got? Cruiserweights. What's going on in the cruiserweight mix? Anything?
Well, you got the Saucemeister, Lawrence Okola. You got Isaac Chamberlain, sort of building towards a fight between those two.
Simmons and Camacho potential opponents for any of these? I know, obviously.
Yeah, I think.
Chambers
I mean, what he lost. I mean, I think I tried to make Camacho against Okola for September the 1st. We're going to do a next gen show at York Hall. Yeah. Simmons, Simmons is probably closer to British title level. I don't think he's going to want to jump in with Okola or Chamberlain just yet because he's probably on the verge of fighting for the British title. So, Josh Kelly will be out right at the beginning of October again. Joe Caldina will be on the next gen show, as will Boazzi, as will Caldina, as will Conor Benn, as will Cheeseman. Felix Cash will return. That should be announced this week. Callier fight. Well, I was going to box in Monaco, but I think Callier fight is going to get the old slot for the Joshua card, I think, against Sho Ishida. Great fight. And as you know, the super flies are hot at the moment, especially in America. So if we can get that fight, Joshua-Klitschko in the States, I think Callier fight is going to be in a great spot to box over there.
Let's quickly talk about Dave Allen.
Yep. He was out of it on Saturday down Sugar Hut.
Do you know what? I will say one thing. Didn't have a drink.
He doesn't drink, does he?
The most awkward man in the nightclub, stood against the wall the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think he had a good night. Leroy Thomas rematch?
Trying. But I said to his manager today, actually, I texted him and said, whatever happens, you're boxing on our Manchester show, October 7th. Leroy Thomas, hopefully. But if not, Dave Allen will be on October the 7th. So, yeah, and I like what Dave's doing. He's going out, he's getting experience, he ain't making money to go and fight on those cards. He's doing it for experience and to learn. He's got to get out the mentality of, like he says in his interview, he was just this tough guy. So he was very good at taking shots, surviving, and offensively, he's never really boxed like that before. So when he had to go and stick it on Leroy Thomas on the front foot, he couldn't do it, and he didn't do it. But that's what he's got to do. And you saw what happens when he relaxes a little bit. I don't even think he meant to knock Tom Dallas out, and he did. But when he relaxes, he can punch. And Dave Allen's not going anywhere. I'll say with us, from us. We've got plans for Dave Allen, and the next one for us will be October 7th. Quickly
on Kell Brook. How is he?
Good. He's good. He's going to have a holiday this week for a couple of weeks. Expect to see him back end of November, early December. He still feels like he can make £147. He didn't have a great camp last time, but he still made the weight. I want to see him move to 154. I really do. So we'll see.
All right, we have literally 80 seconds if you want to fill it with anything. If you don't...
September 30th, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Paul Butler against Stuart Hall, eliminator for the McDonald Solace winner. Rocky Fielding against David Brophy, British and Commonwealth titles. Sean Mashadod against Stalker for the Commonwealth lightweight title. Birkenhead against Liverpool. Tom Farrell against Ohara Davies, great fight. Sprinkle it with 2 Commonwealth gold medalists. Anthony Fowler, Scott Fitzgerald. Natasha Jonas' first fight in Liverpool as well. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Enjoy.
Katie Taylor in action this week.
Katie Taylor in action in Brooklyn. We're there. Sky Sports. Garcia Brona. Great card. Lou Bella.
Are you going to make Taylor and Jonas next year?
One day, yeah.
Next year?
Yeah, next year. Natasha Jonas. Providing everyone keeps winning, we'll fight Katie Taylor for the world title.
In Dublin?
Wherever you want
in
it, baby.
Liverpool? Wherever you want it. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much. It's now 11 o'clock. Ed, call the car.
Okay, I'll do it now.